Welcome back. I'm Rajveer Kaur. I'm a mindful chemistry coach and I teach 11th and 12th class science students the subject of chemistry and help them get above 90% marks in their final exams. And I also help them prepare for the entrance exams. Okay, so in this series of videos, I'm taking up the back exercises of NCERT, and in this video, I will be taking up the next 5 questions of second chapter of NCERT 12th class, that is solutions. So the question number 16 and 20 will be covered in this video. And if you want to watch the solutions to the previous or the next questions, you can just go to the description and I have given the links for those videos. Okay. And if you want to learn from me directly on my live online classes, you can just go to the description and there you can know how you can reach out to me. All right, let us now move into the question number 16 and let's see what is the statement for it and what we need to find out. All right. So the statement for this question is heptane and octane form an ideal solution. So we have been given two components and they have been mixed together to form an ideal solution. Let's read it complete and then see what is there to find out. So one component is heptane. So we can just write the formula for heptane. And the second component is octane. And this is the formula for octane. Okay, let's say that it is component A and octane is the component B. Okay, at 373 Kelvin, the vapor pressures of the two liquid components are 105.2 kilopascal and 46.8 kilopascal respectively. Now, what has been given? We have been given the vapor pressures of the pure components. That is, when heptane is pure, what is its vapor pressure? When only octane is present, what is its vapor pressure at 373 Kelvin? So for that, P naught A has been given to be equal to 105.2 kilopascal and P naught B has been given to be equal to 46.8 kilopascal. What will be the vapor pressure of a mixture in which 26.0 gram of heptane is there and 35 gram of octane is there? So now we are mixing the two. And we need to tell what will be the vapor pressure of the two in the when these are mixed together, what will be the vapor pressure of the resulting solution. Okay, so we know the formula for that. So according to Raoult's law, PS, that is the vapor pressure of the resulting solution, it is equal to XA into P naught A plus XB into P naught B, where XA is the mole fraction of the component A and XB is the mole fraction of the component B. So first of all, we need to find out what are the mole fractions of these two components. So XA is equal to NA upon NA plus NB. That is, we need the number of moles. So before going into calculation of the number of moles, we need to find out what is the molar mass of heptane and what is the molar mass of octane. So it is 12 into 7. 12 is the atomic mass or the molar mass of carbon. So it will be 84 plus 16. So it is coming out to be equal to 100. Now, when we are talking about octane, it is 12 multiplied by 8. It will be 96 plus 18. It will be coming out to be equal to 114. Okay, so these are the molar masses. So Na will be equal to 26 because given mass is 26 upon 100. So it is equal to 0.26. And B will be equal to 35 upon 114. So it will be equal to, now I need my calculator. Okay, so I will be calculating it on my calculator. So it is coming out to be equal to 35 divided by 114, 0.31. So we have found the number of moles. So XA will be equal to 0.26 divided by 0.26 plus 0.31. So it will be equal to 0.26 divided by 0.26 plus 0.31. So it is equal to 0.456. Okay, now you can find out XB either using the similar formula, that is NB upon NA plus NB, or you can just do XB is equal to 1 minus XA. So this will be simpler. 0.456. So 1 minus 0.456, it will be equal to 0.544. We just need to put the values here now and we will get the answer. So XB, we have XA is equal to 0.456 plus multiplied by 105.2 plus 0.544 multiplied by 46.8. So it will be equal to 0.456 multiplied by 105.2. It is coming out to be equal to 47.97 plus 0.544 plus multiplied by 46.8. So it is coming out to be equal to 25.45. So 25.45 plus 47.97, it's coming out to be equal to 73.42 kilopascal. So this is a very simple question. Hope you are clear about it. Okay, so let's now move into the next question, that is question number 17. Question number 2.17. Let's see what is the statement for it. The vapor pressure of water is 12.3 kilopascal at 300 Kelvin. So the vapor pressure of pure water has been given. So I can just write PA naught is equal to 12.3 kilopascal. All right. Calculate the vapor pressure of 1 molar solution of a non-volatile solute in it. 1 molar solution of a non-volatile solute in it. So if the concentration has been given to be equal to 1 molar, what is the meaning of it? That is 1 mole of the non-volatile solute has been dissolved in 1000 gram of the solvent. Now what is the solvent here? It is water. Okay, so this means number of moles of solute is equal to 1 mole because the solution is 1 molar. Okay, so number of moles of solvent, that is water, it will be equal to, now because the solution is 1 molar, the amount of solvent in it will be 1000 gram. So 1000 upon 18, so that will be the number of moles of water. So it comes out to be equal to 55.55. So you can just keep this value in mind because it is used many a times in numericals. Okay, so you will not need to calculate it again and again. So it is 55.5. The number of moles of water in 1000 gram of water is 55.55. Okay. All right. So we can now just use the formula for relative lowering in vapor pressure. So P naught A minus PA upon P naught A is equal to, we need to find out PA now because it will be the vapor pressure of the solution as well as it will be the vapor pressure of water in the solution because the solute is non-volatile. There is no vapor pressure because of solute. Okay, so this will be equal to XB. So I can just put the value minus PA upon 12.3 is equal to number of moles of solute upon number of moles of solute plus number of moles of solvent. So let's just find out what is the value coming out to be. So 1 divided by 56.55, it is equal to 0.0177. Okay, now I can just write it like this. 12.3 minus PA is equal to 0.0177 multiplied by 12.3. So it will be coming out to be equal to 0.2175. So I can just write PA will be equal to 12.3 minus 0.2175. So it is coming out to be equal to 12.08 kilopascal. So this will be the vapor pressure of the solution, or this will be the vapor pressure of water inside the solution, because there is no vapor pressure because of solute, it is non-volatile. All right, let's now move into the next question, that is question number 18. Let's see what is it. Question number 2.18. Calculate the mass of a non-volatile solute, molar mass of which is 40 gram per mole. Okay, so let's first note down what we have been given and what we need to find out. We need to find out the mass of the non-volatile solute, that is, we need to find out WB. Okay, which should be dissolved in 114 gram octane. So we have been given that the solvent is octane and WA is equal to 114 gram. To reduce its vapor pressure to 80%, we need to find out what will be the amount of non-volatile solute whose molar mass is 40 gram per mole that will be required to be dissolved in 114 gram of octane so that its vapor pressure reduces to 80% of its pure vapor pressure. Okay, so I just can write, let vapor pressure of pure octane is equal to P naught A and vapor pressure of octane in solution, or we can say vapor pressure of solution, because again the solute is non-volatile. Okay, so it will be equal to PA. Now we have been given that PA is equal to 80% of P naught A. So I can just write it like this. Okay, now just use this formula. P naught A minus PA upon P naught A is equal to XB. Okay, now P naught A minus, I can just write 0.8 P naught A upon P naught A. It will be equal to XB. Now this will get cancelled. It will be 1 minus 0.8 equal to XB, or I can say XB is equal to 0.2. XB is coming out to be equal to 0.2. Okay, so now what is the formula for XB? XB is equal to NB upon NA plus NB. So NB is equal to WB upon MB upon WB upon MB plus, okay, so this is NB. Now we need to find put the value of NA also. So NA will be equal to WA upon MA. So WA is 114. And in the 16th question, I think, yes, in the 16th question itself, we have done that the molar mass of octane is also 114. So I can just put 114 upon 114. So this is NB and this is NA. Okay, so it will be equal to, just put the value of MB here, WB upon 40 upon WB upon 40 plus 1. So it will be equal to WB upon 40 upon WB plus 40. So it will be equal to now WB upon 40 multiplied by 40 upon WB plus 40. Okay, now we know what is the value of XB. It is 0.2. So I can just write 0.2 is equal to WB upon WB plus 40. Or we can just write 0.2 WB plus 40 into 0.2. It will be 8, I think. 40 into 0.2, yes, it is 8. So it will be equal to WB. So, or I can just write 8 is equal to WB minus 0.2 WB. It is equal to 0.8 WB. Okay, so I'm just clearing the screen off. So 8 is equal to 0.8 WB till now, where we have reached. 8 is equal to 0.8 WB. So WB will be equal to 8 upon 0.8. So it will be equal to, I think, 1. 8 divided by 0.8, it should be equal to, okay, it is equal to 10. So what is WB? It is 10 gram. That is, we need to add 10 gram of non-volatile solute into the solvent so that its vapor pressure reduces to 80%. Okay, so no doubt if it is 8 by 8, it is 1. So I'm that good only at the calculations. Okay, so let's now move into the next question. Hope this is clear to you. So this is how we could find out the amount of non-volatile solute required. So let's move into question number 19 now. Question number 19 is a solution containing 30 gram of non-volatile solute. Okay, so just write down WB is 30 gram. Exactly in 90 gram of water. So WA is equal to 90 gram. Has a vapor pressure of 2.8 kilopascal. So PA is equal to 2.8 kilopascal. This is the vapor pressure of the solution, not the pure solvent. Okay, it has been given that this is dissolved in water and this is the vapor pressure, that is, it is the vapor pressure of the solution. So it is PA, not P naught A. Okay. Further, 18 gram of water is then added to the solution. Okay, to the same solution, we are again adding how much water? 18 gram of water. And the new vapor pressure becomes 2.9 kilopascal. Okay, so here WB is not changing, that is remaining the same. Okay, WA is changing, it is 90 plus 18, so it is now 108 gram. PA now is 2.9 kilopascal. Okay, calculate the molar mass of the solute and vapor pressure of water at 298 Kelvin. We need to find out what is the molar mass of solute. So we need to find out MB. Okay, now first of all, we can use the formula for relative lowering in vapor pressure. So P naught A minus PA upon P naught A is equal to WB upon MB multiplied by MA upon WA. Okay, so just put the values here. So I can just write 1 minus PA upon P naught A is equal to WB is 30, MB we need to find out, multiplied by MA, it is because it is water, so it is 18, WA is 90. So here the value for PA is 2.8. So I can just put 2.8 here. Okay, so it is 3, it is, now it will be 6. So I can just write 1 minus 2.8 upon P naught A is equal to 6 upon MB. Or we can just write 2.8 upon P naught A is equal to 1 minus 6 upon MB. 1 minus 6 upon MB. Similarly, we can find similar equation for the solution that has been prepared by adding more of water into it. Okay, so we can just write 1 minus 2.9 upon P naught A is equal to, now here it will be 30 upon MB minus 18 upon, multiplied by, not minus, multiplied by 18 upon 108. Okay, so it will be now equal to, let's quickly calculate it. 108 divided by 18, I think it will go, okay, yes. So it is 6, it is 1, now it is 1, it is 5. Okay, so 1 minus 2.9 upon P naught A is equal to 5 upon MB, or we can write 2.9 upon P naught A is equal to 1 minus 5 upon MB. So this is the equation number 1, this is the equation number 2. Now what we can do is divide equation number 2 with equation number 1. So equation 2 is 2.9 upon P naught A. Now when we will be dividing P naught A will get cancelled with P naught A. It will be 2.9 upon 2.8 equal to 1 minus 5 upon MB upon 1 minus 6 upon MB. So it will be equal to MB minus 5 upon MB minus 6 upon MB. So this will get cancelled. It will be equal to MB minus 5 upon MB minus 6. Okay. So MB minus 5 upon MB minus 6. I'm just clearing the screen. MB minus 5 upon MB minus 6. MB minus 5 upon MB minus 6 is equal to 2.9 upon 2.8. So I can just write 2.8 MB minus 2.8 multiplied by 5. 2.8 multiplied by 5, it will be equal to 14. Is equal to 2.9 MB minus 2.9 multiplied by 6, it is 17.4. Or we can just say that 0.1 MB will be equal to 17.4 minus 14, it will be 3.4. Or MB will be equal to 3.4 upon 0.1, it will be equal to 34. So the molar mass of the non-volatile solute will be 34. Okay, now we need to find out the second part, that is the vapor pressure of water. You can take up any of the two equations, equation number 1 or equation number 2. Just put the value of MB there and you will get the answer for the vapor pressure of water at 298 Kelvin. This temperature we do not need to use in the formula, but it is required to be specified because the vapor pressure, it depends upon temperature. Okay, so you just can put the value of MB either in equation number 1 or in equation number 2 and get the answer. That is the vapor pressure of water. Okay, just do it and do write in the comment section below what is the result you have obtained. All right, let's now move into the next question. That is, I think, the last question of this very video. It is 2.20. Question number 2.20. A 5% solution biomass of cane sugar in water. Okay, 5% solution biomass of cane sugar. So mass of cane sugar is 5 gram. Mass of solvent, that is water, it is equal to 95 gram. The freezing point is TF is 271 Kelvin. Calculate the freezing point of 5% glucose. Okay, we have been given another solution also. Mass of glucose is equal to 5 gram. Mass of water is equal to 95 gram. Calculate the freezing point of 5% glucose in water if freezing point of pure water is 273.15. So we have been given TF naught, it is equal to 273.15. We need to find out TF for this solution. Okay, now we know what is the formula for delta TF. It is equal to KF into WB upon MB into WA into 1000. Okay, so we have WB, cane sugar, WB is there. MB we will be finding it out because we know what is the formula for cane sugar. It is C12H22O11. Okay, WA has been given, that is 95. Now KF is not there, but we have been given delta TF because TF naught is equal to, delta TF is equal to TF naught minus TF. So it is equal to 273.15 minus 271. Okay, so from this first solution, we will be able to find out what is the value for KF, and that KF we will be using in the second solution. Okay, because it is a constant for a particular solvent. Solvent is water in both the cases. Okay, so it will be equal to 2.15 Kelvin. Delta TF has been known for the first solution. Just put the values here. 2.15 equal to KF multiplied by WB is 5 upon. Now for cane sugar, the molar mass is 342. Just keep it in mind because glucose, sucrose, these are very common solutes that will be used again and again in the numericals. Okay, so it is 342. multiplied by 1000 upon WA is 95. So KF will be equal to 5 into 1000, 2.15 multiplied by 342 multiplied by 95. It will be equal to, let's quickly calculate it now. 2.15 multiplied by 342 multiplied by 95 divided by 5000. It is coming out to be equal to 13.97. Okay, Kelvin kg per mole. All right, now here we can use this value of Kf in the second solution. So delta TF will be equal to Kf into WB upon MB into 1000 upon WA. So Kf is 13.97, WB is again 5, MB. For glucose, MB, that is the molar mass of glucose, is 180. Keep it in mind, okay? Upon WA. WA is again 95. So it will be equal to now 13.97 multiplied by 5000 divided by 180. Okay, so it is coming out to be equal to 4.085 Kelvin. So we have found the delta TF. Now delta TF is equal to TF naught minus TF. We need to find out TF here. So TF will be equal to TF naught minus delta TF. So TF naught is 273.15 minus 4.085. So it will come out to be equal to 273.15 minus 4.085. 269.065 Kelvin. So this will be the answer. Hope this is clear to you. So these questions are not that tough, but we need to just think where we can put what and from where we can get this is like this 20th question. It is very common because they will not be giving you the value for KF. They will be giving you other values from which you will be able to find out KF, and then you will be needing to use that KF value in the next part of the question. Okay, so be careful about these type of questions and keep in mind what are the values that you need to always have in your mind, like the molar masses of the common non-volatile solutes which are given in the numericals. Okay, so in the next video, I will be taking up next 5 questions. And if you are getting conceptual clarity, like this video, share it with your friends and do subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon. Thank you. And I will be meeting you in the next video.